Let me start off by saying that my opinions in this video do not reflect the feelings of all students that are affected by this situation, but I feel like I can say that a majority of them do feel the same way that I do. With that out of the way, let's just get started. So, so what's going on at UCI? So it's all started back in August, right? Now, they sent out an email saying that due to problems with FAFSA, our aid would be delayed until the 30th. Notice how you use quotation marks there. And so everything's all fine and dandy for me, at least, until I hear from my friend that goes to UC San Diego that says he already got his aid, right? And then I hear from my other friend that goes to CSUF, Cal State Fullerton, that they received their aid as well. So I'm thinking, why did they receive their aid but not me, right? Because from what I heard, there was problems with FAFSA that was preventing me from getting my aid, right? So the 30th rolls around, and lo and behold, I still don't have my aid. And the deadline to pay my fees is September 15th. No, 16th. September 16th. Before I would get dropped from my classes. And so obviously that's pretty fucking scary, right? Not being able to pay for your classes. And a bunch of people on Reddit seem to share that sentiment, right? Like, if you search up financial aid in the search bar of Reddit for UCI, the UCI subreddit, you see almost all the recent posts are about it. How people are not receiving money and how they can't pay for their classes, how they can't pay for their rent, because most of them already signed leases for their apartments and their dorms. So obviously that causes people to start calling the financial aid office. And I think I think the main problem with this office is that it is severely understaffed. I think there's less than 20 people working at the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships that actually take calls from people, right? For me, when I call them, it takes around 2 hours. I get on hold. I get put on hold for 2 hours. But I saw on Reddit, there's someone who was waiting 6 hours on hold just to talk to a real person, asking, "Hey, where's my money?" Right? Now, see, I asked for where my money was as well, and they said that they were doing everything in their power to get me my aid. And so around a week rolls around, and then they send out another email saying that it's a problem with their website and technical issues that is preventing people from seeing their aid or getting their aid. I mean, before it was problems with FAFSA, and now it's a problem with the website. Now, I'll admit the website's pretty dog shit because these decided to, let's make a new website for us, right? The user interface is so bad. You can't click step 2 on mobile. You gotta go onto a fucking computer or something to do it. And to top it all off, it says that will email you about your aid offer, but then it doesn't email you. It just puts it in the message tab, so you have to check periodically for it. But the website is besides the point. It's that they are so understaffed that they can't process the students' aid offers. And I'm saying as a federally funded school, that being in UC, how do you not have the funds to hire more people? Am I to understand that you're understaffed despite having federal funding? That just sounds crazy to me that they wouldn't hire more people despite them having like all the funding they need, right? And to top it all off, they sent out an email. The University of California, Irvine, sent out an email saying that they raised $638 million, and yet they can't afford more people to work to answer calls. And they sent out another email saying that they'll host a sort of town hall meeting, which was like virtual, and that they'll answer all our questions, and they have like a slideshow explaining everything, all that kind of stuff. But when we get there, they don't answer your questions. Like, you can type in your question and it gets grayed out. No one looks at it. And the reason they did that was because they said that your question gets grayed out if it's in the slide. And look at that, it's not in the slide. And so they do another meeting, and this time they try to answer more questions, but again, it's not in the slide. For example, we have this year called a university/Hawk loan, right? And on the website ZotAid, they had a waiver where you had to say, I decline this loan. I decline this loan. Despite that, it still says you accept the loan in your financial aid reward letter. And of course, that question was answered, and they just skimmed past it. They didn't answer it at all. Like, why would you host a meeting that says, we will answer all your questions, and yet not answer the questions? Another thing I want to touch on is the financial aid itself. So there's this thing called the UCI grant that last year was given to low-income students who had an SAI of, I believe it's negative $1,500. What it basically did was it covered all their expenses, so they wouldn't have to pay out of pocket for anything. However, according to the numerous Reddit posts in the UCI subreddit, that UCI grant compared to last year was more than halved. So people who wouldn't have had to pay out of pocket do have to pay out of pocket right now, because the UCI grant doesn't cover all their costs. Oh, and you want to know the real reason why they didn't get as much money as they did last year? It was because UCI didn't have it in the budget. They did not have it in the budget to give people the same amount of money as last year's UCI grant. Let's just skip over the fact that they said that they raised $638 million in an email in the past. Do you know how fucking crazy that is? How tone deaf they have to be to send out that email and then say that they didn't have it in the budget to spare a few $1,000s for a few thousand students in order for them to actually attend class and further their academic careers. I know there's multiple people who were considering dropping out because of it. considering dropping out of UCI because it was too expensive for them because they didn't get the aid that they needed in time. I don't think anyone has to drop out of a school just because the school is incompetent and inept at reaching out to their students and listening to their problems. Because what are we paying them to do, right? We paid the school to go to class, we paid the school to eat, we paid the school to live on campus. And yet, they don't do anything in return for us. They say that they're all about equality and equity. But I mean, if you were at school last year, you'd see the protests, the response to the protests. Like that much of a response to students exercising their right to free speech kind of paints the picture that the school does not care about us, their students. And this situation with the understaffed Office of Financial Aid only exacerbates that fact that they don't care about us. Anyways, they sent out another email at, I believe it was a week ago, saying that if we don't get our aid just because of their ineptitude, that our classes would not be dropped and people would not have to pay their rent yet. So no one was getting their courses dropped. No one was getting kicked out of their apartments. And so I think that's like the end of like that era. That fucking clusterfuck of a mess. But I think it'll like the effects of this will be felt for a long, long time. Anyway, that's about it. I don't really know how to feel about the situation. I mean, what's done is done. Like I still blame them, but I did get my financial aid already. Uh, I just hope that they do better. Hope they hire more people, but based on what I've seen at this school so far, I highly doubt anything's gonna happen. Anyway, I probably won't make another video about any of this or about anything else for that matter, but maybe I will. So like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon like everyone else says, and I might do something else. All right, peace.